Hello, and welcome to today's video. Today I am swatching Binding by Bee's Knees Lacquer. It's a mid-toned gray crelly with purple to blue to green shimmer. In the bottle, the shimmer is making the base color look as if it has a slight purple or mauve lean, but you'll see as we swatch that the base is a true gray. In the first coat, it goes on well. I probably could have just a little more polish on my brush. This is another color I think could be worn in any number of coats. Today I'm going to put on 3, but I have to admit, when I got to the third coat, I lost all of the squishiness of the base, and I don't personally like it in 3. In the future, I'll stop at 2. But I thought the first time wearing it was the time to experiment, and now I know. Unfortunately, I couldn't get anything but the green shift to show inside. So for now, all you have are my reassurances that something else exists. I do think the swatches make the polish look quite dark, more like a charcoal. And in darker lighting scenarios, this does look darker. I bought this one because I'm trying to grab some grays, which are a category of polish that does not have a lot of entries for me. I have 6 gray polishes. I didn't really have anything in particular in mind as an inspiration, but it does remind me a little bit of the gray catbird, especially in the sun when the base looks lighter and the shimmer is a little more tame. I do get a better amount of polish on my brush for that second coat. I still have a patchy spot on the right side of my thumb where I didn't have enough coverage in my first coat. But this is probably how I will wear my polish. This is more of a crelly, but it retains some amount of translucence. Maybe this is closer to the Myers parrot. I think that darker feathers might be a slightly closer match. But most often, grays like this remind me of old farmhouses. I think there is something very nostalgic about aging wood shingles, and this makes me think of them. This might be a good place to insert my other story about the formation of Rome. In the early days, Rome was mostly composed of a bunch of men exiled from other communities for being criminals. The men were worried that without wives and children, Rome would die. Sound familiar? They then set up a festival to attract visitors and kidnapped women who traveled from a nearby community to Rome for the celebration. This started a war, as you might expect. Personally, I like this myth better, just because there is nothing good or heroic about it. Much better than twin babies with Forrest Gump syndrome and plot armor. The only thing I don't like is that the women plead for the fighting to stop and agree to stay. In the meantime, we have been watching the third coat go on, and it is completely opaque now. It doesn't seem completely flat like a cream, but we are still only getting the green shift. This also reminds me of the Geyer Anderson cat. It is a bronze statue of the Egyptian god Bastet. It is basically a sitting cat, but it does resemble the grayish-green aspect of this polish. And who doesn't want to look like a 2.5 millennia old kitty? In just a second, we'll be out into the sun, and you'll be able to see that the base color isn't all that dark. The shimmer starts as a green that has a bit of a teal lean, but as I move around to the left, a little bit of medium blue peeks out, As I keep moving around to the far left, you will be able to see that deep grape purple with a little bit of a darker forest green to the shimmer. My camera was acting a little weird, and it seems like I'm dipping into shadows at the left side, but it was still sunny there. I'm not sure what that was about. When the purple shimmer blends with the base color, the other thing that comes to mind is a great blue heron. When you see them from a distance in the sun, they sort of look like they have just a slight lavender hue to the gray feathers. On an extremely windy day, one hovered over me for a good 2 minutes. It was an amazing view. For the second shot, I used dappled light again. It is a bit overcast, but I'm getting the occasional sunny break, and I'm standing so that I'm behind the branches of a bush. All of my normal indirect light shots showed way too much sky reflecting in them, and it made the polish look way more blue than it actually was. So here we are. The polish starts off in that forest green, and as I move around to the left and lift my fingers, you see that violet purple. Depending on how much light hits it, the polish can look a little more magenta, but that isn't the most dominant look this gives. I couldn't find the blue anymore. Of the major colors, the blue is the most shy. Indoors, the shift starts as the medium royal blue, while my fingers are facing the window. As I move my fingers upward, the violet peeks out before it is overtaken by the forest green, which is visible over to my left where the artificial lighting is. Sorry again for the wobbly footage, but it seems I was having a day. If this is the one I kept, imagine what the rest looked like. I'm stretching it a little bit, but this could be a gray-headed lovebird, even though I think the little parrot is a bit lighter. But I do think you could probably get away with it. No one will know but you. And that is all for today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe so that I can grow my own fluffy winter coat and sit moodily over my meals while screaming at any passers-by. Please enjoy a clip of my squirrel enjoying a peanut in the bushes.